Hi, I'm Alyson the Crocheter.
And I'm Vivian the Knitter, and this is the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast.
Hello, and welcome to episode 114 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn. This is a knitting and crochet podcast hosted by me, Alyson, and my mom, Vivian. I am recording from Scotland.
And I'm recording in Michigan. You might know me from Pearl and Plum, my Etsy shop where I make and sell project bags for knitters and crocheters. And Alyson is the fabulous publisher behind Mort, the independent magazine for crocheters. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're listening in on a podcast app or watching us on YouTube. Hi.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
It's 2023.
Yeah.
I don't mind that as a number. So you very kindly went through our Ravelry pages and old episodes to
Actually,
compile
not our
a list
Ravelry
of-
pages because you're really bad at putting your things in Ravelry. So I had to go through all of our notes, like episode by episode, to see what your FOs were.
Right. And I don't even have that many FOs. But you have compiled a list of our 2022 FOs, and you have beaten me by several miles.
How many
finished projects did you have?
I beat my last record of 25 a few years ago. So I have 26 projects.
Wow. So you just beat it.
3 cowls, 3 shawls, 3 sweaters, 3 socks, 3 sweaters, 10 hats, and 1 miscellaneous.
Wow. So I only had 10 projects, which was 2 shawls, a sweater, a dress, 3 hats, a scarf, and a miscellaneous. 2 miscellaneous, maybe.
Yeah, 2.
So, yeah. I mean, did you... Well, I just list the things that I made because it's not very many. So the big items I did was the jade dress, which was the dress I wore to my sister's wedding.
Yeah, you did that mostly in 2021, though.
and the 373 cardigan, which
you started like that 2 years ago.
Right. And then I also had the Meg's wrap, which was for last year's Archive KCAL, and I finished not in time for the KCAL, but I finished it in the same year. It took me 6 months. No, 3 months. And then also the assigned color pooling shawl, which I had to finish because that was for Rhinebeck. And then a couple hats, the wind hat, twisted the classic beanie hat. I felted an owl, that was miscellaneous. I did my cat butt.
That was started like 2 years ago too. You finished.
What was started?
Your felted owl. You started that a long time ago.
Oh, the felted owl. Yeah, I started that one ages ago. Yeah, that was a Christmas present from like when I first moved here, maybe like 5 years ago. And then I also did the scarf for my friend. So yeah, I have obviously not done a lot of crocheting this year.
Yeah, because that dang magazine takes up a lot of your time.
The magazine has been taking up a lot of my time.
So you're excused.
There's some saying about not like monetizing your hobby or whatever, and this is what happens, right? You don't have time to do it as a hobby. Yeah. But anyway, you've got lots of things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into all of it, but I did knit a lot of hats, and most of them don't live here anymore. I've given them all away,
gifted
for gifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3 sweaters.
I mean, you made 4 anthology hats. So almost half of the hats you made were anthology hats.
I know, that's kind of crazy. So I made the Winston cardigan, Grand Forks, and
sweater, yeah.
What's the other sweater I made?
Sail Away.
Oh yeah, the Sail Away cardigan. Yeah, so I made
white one with the blue.
So at least 2 out of the 3 were for me, and only 1 was for somebody else. I didn't do gift sweater knitting, just gift hat knitting.
3 sweaters in 1 year. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, that was
Hmm.
so I had to make up for all the non-crocheting that you were doing. So I had to, you know, because like we can't like when we plan our episodes, I'm like, well, I gotta start something else because I know Allison hasn't done much crochet.
Oh, not pulling my weight here on the podcast.
Yeah, that's fine. But we get the
Maybe that will be my New Year's resolution to make more time for crocheting for
yeah,
myself.
maybe. Well, I mean, we do get like previews of like more and stuff like that that um other
You
people
didn't get before.
don't get. So that's a
Yeah,
plus. That's a plus.
that's true. Yes. Well, we talk about what we're working on now in
Yeah,
2023?
sure.
Things that could potentially be 2023 FOs, particularly in your case, maybe not in my case.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. So I'm still working on my folklore cardigan by Amy Gunderson, and I am using Juniper Moon Farms organic merino in a DK weight. And I've gotten, I mean, I've gotten more done than I had last time.
Hmm.
So it still kind of looks like it's going to be a blanket, but it is.
Oh, yeah, because you're doing it all in one piece
I'm
instead
doing
of.
it all in one piece,
Mhm.
so it takes me about a half an hour to go. Well, I'm also watching TV at the same time to go like
Yeah, yeah.
one row, one front row, and one back row. It takes me about a half an hour because the back
Wow.
row
I mean,
is.
that's crazy.
But again, I'm also watching TV, so it's not like I'm
Yeah,
concentrating
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's gonna take me a while. You know, if I finish this by the end of the year, I'll be happy. But then I have other things I want to knit too, so I keep putting it aside for
Yeah.
other things.
And for anybody who's
But
just
you know what? I was thinking
listening,
it needs
this is a
pockets.
cabled cardigan my mom is
Yes, it's
making, which is why it
it.
takes her so long. Um, Jay, it needs pockets.
Yeah, maybe it needs pockets. I don't
Just because you, just because,
know. I just thought of it.
like you would add
I
pockets.
might add some pockets. We'll see. I might be so tired of
Mm.
this at the end of it. I'm like, I'm just gonna not think about it anymore.
I
Um,
like the color.
yeah, it's very
Very
neutral.
neutral, natural.
It's like it's. I mean,
Like
I
a,
think it is actually dyed though. It's like a
mm,
because it does.
it
It
looks
did
like
have a
a,
dye lot.
I see.
Mm.
It's a very natural looking color though.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
it's
an
not,
oatmeal gray color.
yeah, yeah. I like it.
Yeah, me too. So that's that. And so I'm not doing the stripes on the folklore cardigan. It looks like an old fashioned tennis
Uh,
cardigan with the stripes along
yeah.
the what is this called? The button band and
Button band
the
and the cuffs.
hem. I can't remember if there's any
Uh-huh.
on the cuffs, but maybe. So I skipped that. I heard a
I see.
cat
So
in
it's
here.
just gonna be the one color.
Yep, just the one color. And my mitten advent calendar. I finished the third mitten. So this is a free pattern by Kathy Lewinsky. So there is a paid version. And I remember when I said, so when we're talking about the number 3, I decided to duplicate stitch the 3, and then I didn't like the way it looked. So I ended up tearing out, and then I knit it, but now I read the chart wrong, so it's actually a little off center.
Oh, okay.
But by the time I realized it, I was like halfway done. I was like, ah, screw it. I'm just gonna leave it in there. So I did. I just have to put the loop on number 3, and I am working on number 4. And doesn't look like much right now. Oh, but it does look good on the camera. I think it's supposed to be a mistletoe or something.
Right. They are really cute. Those little mini mittens.
Yeah. So there's 24 of them. So maybe I'll get it done by the end of the year. But I am getting tired of it. So after number 4, I'm gonna stop for a bit. And I also
Yeah.
started another Christmas project, but it's not knitted. This is the 12 Days of Christmas ornaments, and MMM Crafts on Etsy. She sells the patterns for them. So you buy the pattern, but then you have to buy your own wool felt and embroidery.
So you buy the pattern and it gets you all 12?
No, I only
Or do you have
brought
to buy them separately?
1 through 6. So you could buy like all 12 at
Okay.
once, or she has them in different sets, 1 through 3, 1 through 6, or just individually, and they're about $8 per pattern.
Pattern?
Yeah. So this is a partridge in a pear tree. So it's actually a partridge and a pear.
Ah, that's so cute.
Isn't that cute?
So where'd you get the felt?
I had to buy that separately. I bought that from a different Etsy seller.
Where did you get the felt?
Yeah, because like it's 100% wool, and you can't really get 100% wool at the big box stores.
Yeah. So are you picking your own colors, or are you using colors similar to her patterns?
Well, she has like different colorways, and I'm sort of, kind of, going with the alternate colorway, but not exactly. And
they're super cute.
That was number 2. This was the turtle dove. Here's the partridge. Sorry.
Oh,
that's a partridge.
Oh yeah, there we go.
looks like a partridge.
Is a partridge like a quail?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because that little thing on its head
on the
makes
head,
me think of a quail.
It might be. Maybe.
So it's obviously different colors of felt, and then you embroider on top as well.
Embroider on top of the felt, and then we sew the pieces of felt together. Oops, dropped the pair.
They're really cute.
Yeah. So that's number 2, and then number 3 is the 3 French hens, which was a little fussy because I had to put the feet on, and with pipe cleaners. So they're not pointing the same direction, but but anyway, and so in the back you can embroider the numbers. Yeah. So this one, and it's very simple embroidery. It's just running stitches, back stitches, and French knots. That's all. There isn't anything.
But it's very like effective, like in terms of it just.
Yeah.
It looks like something you can buy in the shop.
It does. I mean,
which I know different makers have different feelings about that compliment, but.
So, oops, and I'm keeping them all in this little bucket for now.
So, it's a whip because you haven't finished all of them, but they're kind of FOs because you finished the ones that you finished.
Yeah, but I'm not counting them as FOs because, it doesn't take me very long to make one, especially the ornaments, the felted ornaments. They only take a day. You have to pre-wash the wool, so that was actually taking me longer than I said. So I ended up like washing all, because I was washing them like 3 or 4 at a time. Like, this is the colors I'm going to use. So now I just washed all of it, and so she gives you I think the designer's name is Louise. I can't remember. A PDF that you print on a stabilizer. And you buy them in sheets so you can put them in the printer, and it's just you cut them out and you stick it onto your fabric, onto your wool, and then you sew or you embroider on top of it because it shows you where all the embroidery is going to be, and then it's water soluble. So we didn't have anything like that when I used to do cross stitch. We would have, we didn't really have computer paper type things. So yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So that was taking up a lot of my time.
Get the rest after you finish 6?
The reason why I did.
When you finish the 6th, will you buy up to 12?
Oh, I'm not sure because there's a lot of people afterwards. It's the Lord's Leaping and Maids and Milking, and they seem a little bit more complicated, like the legs and the arms and stuff. They're not as flat. They're more they're even more like 3D than these guys. And plus, for the heads, you have to get wood beads and paint the faces, or use like Sharpie pens. I think it's painted. But I did see somebody that was selling the pre-made heads. So maybe I'll do that. But then, I don't usually like to do stuff like that. We'll see.
Yeah. So wait, 5 gold rings. What's 6?
6 swans a swimming, 7 geese laying,
Okay.
7 geese a laying, 8 maids a milking, and I get them mixed up.
Okay.
And then it's like lords
Okay, so
leaping,
up to
ladies
7
dancing.
birds.
So
Any other whips?
no, that's all the whips I have. Do you have any?
I just have one. It is not even a crochet whip. It's my knitting whip.
But it's a yarn one. I mean, I
Um,
just talked about the felt sewing embroidery that I'm
that's
doing.
true. So this is the cardigan that I'm knitting, the South Shore cardigan, and I haven't really made. I don't think I've made that much progress since the last time I talked about it. I've split for the
Yeah.
sleeves, um, and I think that's worked out. I did make a mistake. I think when I was down at my in-laws for Christmas and I was like knitting while I was watching TV, I think I picked it up and knitted the wrong way.
Oh, so you did an accidental
halfway
short
along
row.
a row. Yeah. And I don't know that when I noticed, and then I got, I reached the point, I was like, oh no. And so I tried to like rip it back, and then I was just like really screwing that up. So I ended up actually taking the time to like put my loop to I kept what I could on the needles and then took a spare bit of thread to like figure out
Oh, so you did
where I wanted to rip back
Uh-huh.
to. Well, because I was trying to do it, and I think because I'm not as used to knitting, I kept like trying like do you know not following the stitches on the same
Uh-huh.
row. So I was putting stitches back onto the needle from different rows.
Oh,
That makes
yeah.
sense. So I'd like, yeah. So I just did it in thread first, so I could actually like slow down and see what I was doing. So I ended up ripping out like 6 rows, even though I don't think I needed to rip out that many, but I just kept like messing it up. And I think I might have reached just about where I was before I ripped it out. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the side seams, they do some, I think, twisted stitches just to like not because there isn't a side seam, but like where there would be if and so they say to do when you're knitting to knit through the back loop, and when you're purling to purl through the
Back loop.
purl through the so when I knit, that's fine, but what I don't, so obviously if you knit through the back loop, it's twisted. So then when you reach it, when you're on the wrong side, on the purl sides, when you reach that stitch, the stitch is already twisted so that the back loop is on the front, or like, does that make sense? Like the loop is on
Yeah,
the
so but
needle in the wrong direction. So you kind of purl what feels like normal.
No.
Right?
I don't think so. Because when I'm purling through, you still like have to take your right needle and then bring it to the back and then purl it this way.
Because I thought I tried to do that, and then when I did that, this stitch wasn't twisted.
Well, if you only like purl every other row, it's fine. It'll still look twisted, I think.
So my stitches are twisted, but they're twisted in opposite directions. Does that make sense? So my knit stitches are twisted in one direction, and then my purl stitches are twisted in the other direction. And I feel like it would look better if they were all twisted in the same direction. But I couldn't figure it out.
Okay. I mean, I don't really do twisted stitches that often, so I actually have to have the yarn in my hand and do it to knit it.
If anybody knows what I'm talking about or has some advice, let me know. Otherwise, when we get off this call, I might make you
do
some tests.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's all I've got for whips.
Okay. So do you have any FOs?
Buzzfeed quiz?
Oh. Buzzfeed quiz. I've already forgotten.
So as it's the new year, the quiz is, what should your New Year's resolution be based on your Disney favorites?
Yeah, it was yeah. It was a hard quiz because I had a hard time picking things. With
So my resolution that it gave me was take time for yourself. It says it's so easy to focus on work and other people, but try to find time in between for yourself. Relax by binging that old Disney Channel show or taking a bath, and you'll find it helpful.
I got the same thing.
There. Yeah.
Yep.
So we must have some answers in common. And I already know the last question is pick an underrated Disney movie. Actually,
So
no,
I
think we
I
must
have
pick the same
two
one.
comments for that, or one, I don't know. Lilo and Stitch is not an underrated Disney show. Movie. So I didn't pick that one because it's not underrated.
Okay.
So I picked Emperor's New Groove.
Okay, we didn't. Okay, so I didn't. I forgot that was on the option. So I was gonna say I knew you picked either Lilo and Stitch and The Emperor's New Groove. The other options were The Fox and the Hound, Tarzan, Atlantis, and a Goofy movie. I think that it is. I think it is underrated compared to like you think about like all the other Disney movies, and that movie is definitely, I think, the one of the ones that less people will have seen. Like, even compared to Tarzan, I would say Tarzan is more known than Lilo and Stitch as a Disney movie.
I mean, it's hard to say because they're both kind of old now.
Yeah.
They're both
anyway,
over 20 years old.
Oh my God.
So what did you pick?
I picked Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, you did pick Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, I picked The Emperor's New Groove because I think that one's definitely more underrated, and we all love that movie. We love Lilo and Stitch too.
Yeah, but we love Lilo and Stitch more.
We do. And then I basically picked all the Asians.
Okay, so that means you picked Mulan for the Disney princess. Yeah, which I did also. Although the Disney princesses were like not necessarily the. Oh, I guess Bella is one of the big ones. So you had Merida, Moana, Tiana, and Jasmine as well.
Yeah.
And then I guess also for the Disney prince,
which is Li Shang's not actually a prince.
Shang.
Yeah, I did pick.
Well, neither is Mulan.
Neither's who?
Mulan's not a princess either.
No, but she's part of the Disney princess package, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, then if she is, then he is, like, because they're the
couple,
right? Yeah, they're the couple. But I picked Shang as well.
And then the Pixar movie.
The Pixar movie, I almost picked
Coco,
just because that one I've watched most recently like twice and it makes me cry. But then when I actually thought about it, I went for Up.
Yeah, I did too.
Which also makes me cry.
So yeah, I did. I mean, I even the Disney Channel show. I picked Jake Long. I mean, American Dragon, Jake Long. Even you guys didn't really watch it. I mean, you guys mostly watched Phineas Ferb. You watched Kim Possible, Proud Family a little bit.
Proud Family. Yeah, we watched Proud Family. I didn't really watch Phineas and Ferb. That was a bit after me. I feel like Jake Long is older than Phineas and Ferb.
Like Madeline watched.
I picked
Gravity
Kim Possible.
Falls. Yeah. And then singer. I didn't pick Miley Cyrus. I picked Selena Gomez. I think one of the times I picked it, I went with Bridget Mendler. I don't know who Jessie McCartney.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Wizards of Wave. No, she wasn't. She was. I don't know. She was. I can't even remember what she was in. She was in one of those shows. Okay.
Well, okay, so we did pick
a lot of the same. Yeah.
A few, several things. Oh, wait, one last one. Just because, so your favorite Disney Channel TV show, I didn't know what Jessie was or Casey Undercover. I assume those are slightly newer ones.
Yeah, those were like Madeline's. Like when Madeline was little, she was watching them. You were already off.
So I picked That's So Raven. What
Yeah.
did you pick?
I picked Wizards of Waverly Place.
Okay. Selena
Yeah,
Gomez.
Selena Gomez. Okay, I think we went through all of them now. Every
Cool.
single
Nearly.
one.
I think there's a few. What, the questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we talk about FOs, we wanted to talk about our CAL.
Yes, our
Yes?
Archive KCAL.
Our archive CAL. And our special, the KCACY way is to call it a CAL, KCAL, which I just thought about it. KCACY, KCAL, CAL. Anyway, because it's knitting and crochet, we probably should call it like a make along, but we don't. We call it a CAL just to make things confusing. So our archive CAL, this is the third one we'll have been running,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And the idea behind the archive CAL is that you will do a deep dive into your archive of favorited patterns, stuff from, we say, about 3 years ago or older that have been languishing in your, queue, in your favorites, that just patterns that you haven't gotten around to making, and kind of finally giving them some love. And this is your opportunity to make them. If you haven't been crocheting or knitting for 3 years, then maybe just try and find some of the older first things that you favorited. It's not like a totally strict rule. You will not be,
Penalized.
disallowed
Yeah.
for not picking something, that's over 3 years old, because how will we know when you favorited it?
Yeah.
Our dates will start from the 1st of February and we'll go 3 months and end on the 1st of May. And you can join along by using hashtag ArchiveCal 2023, because that's the year it is.
2023.
Yeah. We'll also create a thread in Ravelry if you want to use that. We don't use Ravelry too much anymore, the sort of groups page. But we'll be on there for the CAL. But if you want to also just tag things on Instagram so we can see, that's always fun and nice, and we can all sort of make together. And we normally have prizes at the end, so if you participate, you could be in for some prizes, and you don't have to finish anything, because God knows I never finish anything. If you post something in progress or finished, you'll be in with a chance.
Yeah. Sorry, they were making noises. So do you know what you're gonna work on?
So I've had a couple browsers, and I'm not really sure. Potentially, maybe the Hoik cowl by Rachel Atkinson. I made her another one of her cowls. I don't know if you remember. It's a white and gray and purple one I did with Orkney Angora.
I remember that one.
And
the name also rang a bell too.
I can't remember what that one was called, but this one is the Hoik cowl. That's spelled. This is a place in Scotland. Hawick.
Hang on.
Okay. It looks like Haywick or Howick, but it's pronounced Hoik, which just proves that, when English people make fun of me, or, British people, Scottish people, for for the way I pronounce things, there's certain American English words are pronounced. I'm like, no. You have such weird place names. Hoik. Anyways, the Hoik cowl. The other cowl that I made was the Carlaway cowl.
Yes, you had a hard time
so this
pronouncing that. Every single time you said a different one.
Carlaway?
Yeah, Carlaway, yeah. You try to say it differently.
And so I think it's like sort of a similar-ish looking cowl. And I might even have yarn left over from my Carlaway to do it, maybe with a different like main color. But funnily, there's on the Ravelry page for the Hoyt cowl, somebody made it and wore it on, if I were properly British, I would know who this quiz host is, but on some sort of like British quiz show, and the woman is a screenshot of her wearing her Hoyt cowl.
Oh,
obviously somebody made one and wore it on
some quiz show.
Is it British? On a quiz show.
Can.
Anyway, so potentially that, and potentially I also have honeysuckle herringbone mittens by Burgundy and Blush, which I favorited a while ago, which are just like little fingerless mitts that are cute, which maybe I make What about you?
I
What do you
know
think
what
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
make?
make. I am pulling a pattern out of my summer 2007 interweave knits.
Wow.
And it is going to be, it's a vest for your dad, because your dad has actually agreed. So it's this vest. It's called
There's like a cable.
it's got lots of cables, and it's called Hand to Hand Cable Sweaters and Vest. So it's a sweater pattern and a vest pattern, and
Nice.
it's got women's sizing. So
Uh-huh.
your dad is so small. Like the men's sizes are it might be a little bit too big for him. So I can actually look at the numbers for the women's and go with those numbers, but make a vest out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I'm going to do. But it's done in pieces, which, I don't really like to do. But anyway, it was hard enough to find something that he would agree to, because
I mean, if it's a sweater vest, it's just gonna be 2 pieces, right?
that's true. It's just going to be 2 pieces. No sleeves. So he's already picked the yarn. It's Swish Bulky Weight from Knit Picks.
Oh, bulky.
And
That's like a navy.
I've already made a
Navy
big
blue.
giant swatch. I haven't.
No, I was gonna say, did you start? Okay,
No,
just a
I
swatch.
didn't start. I made a swatch, and it's still wet. So I'm gonna put it down. I swatched it yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I blocked it yesterday. So that's what I'm going to work on.
So, did you see it in your and then ask him, "Would you wear this? Can I make this for you?" Or did he specifically request something?
No. I asked him first, can I make you a vest? Because he hates wearing sweaters, but he does wear vests, and I think vests are ridiculous because your arms are so cold. And he wears these, like one time he was wearing like one of those puffer vests, and he was complaining about being cold, and I'm like, he's wearing a polo shirt underneath, and I'm like, and I said, you're wearing short sleeves. It's like, but I'm wearing down. I'm like, but your arms are exposed. So you need to wear something with long sleeves. And he also has a couple of like zip up vests that he gets from like work and things like that with the logo.
Yeah. Like fleece ones?
It's fleece on the inside and polyester or nylon on the outside. He got one from your aunt's work. So he's been wearing that for like at least 15 years. But anyway, so I asked him, because he hates to wear sweaters. And I've always said, I want to make you a sweater. He said, no, I don't want a sweater. I'm never going to wear it. It's like, okay, fine. So I asked him if I could make him a vest. He said, yeah, sure, I'll wear a vest. So I went into Ravelry and picked a bunch and asked him, do any of these look good? I think... And then he's like, I don't know. So finally, I found that one in my archive, and I looked and I said, I'm going to make you this one. Is that okay? And he's like, oh, okay, I like it. And I say, but you get to pick the color. So he got to pick this navy color. Hopefully I won't go blind working on this navy color.
Yeah. So the other ones that you showed him, were they similar to this or different?
I can't even remember. And I didn't want to make him just a plain stockinette one, because I would get bored doing that.
Did you have like color work? Because I'm imagining like color work.
I did show him a bunch of color work ones, and he didn't like any of them. And then, but I did say, I don't want to make you a button one, because I just don't really like making the button, because I made the button band and everything. It's just...
Oh, that was what I was going to ask, because obviously the vests he wears now zip up. So is he going to be annoyed? Like, is he going to wear it? Because
I don't know. He's going to wear it. He's going to wear it. He's going to wear it.
You'll mark it in the calendar. Sweetie, today is your vest wearing day. Wear it.
Hopefully he won't throw in the wash after 2 hours of wearing. Because he does that with his
things.
Well, he does that with his store-bought sweaters, and I just put it away. It's like, no, you're not supposed to wash it every time you wear it. It's gonna fall apart, because whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so but since then he has said, you know what, I think I would like a handmade sweater from you. I'm like, well, I'm making you a vest, so it's gonna have to wait. He's like,
you make a vest with button on sweaters, button on sleeves. I mean,
I can always pick up if he likes it. I can always pick up for the arm or make sleeves and then just like
Uh,
just unravel or frog the ribbing around the
ribbing.
armholes.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids making noises. So I'm excited, but I'm a
Mm-hmm.
little annoyed that I have to wait like what 3 weeks. But that's okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
that swatch is um, going to work out because I did make a giant
Yeah.
swatch per Patty Lyons.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, people have got plenty of time to have a little look, do some scheming and planning, and hopefully we'll start seeing your projects in February.
Yep, I'm excited, and I love encouraging each other, everybody on their projects.
Mm, yeah.
So what about FOs? You have any FOs?
FOs. I do have FOs, and these ones are crochet FOs. I mentioned them both on the podcast. I have nothing to show for them because they've already been gifted, but we'll put up
Mm-hmm.
pictures. Um, I finished the Peking cat butt coasters. Um, and so I did 4 of them for my partner's cousin. All in different colors. So I did a black one, a white one, and a stripy black and gray one, and a brown one with like white bits on its feet and its tail and on its face. I, in fact, actually made 5 because I made one for my coworker as well because her cat jumped in on screen on like our last day of work before our Christmas party. And that was the first time I'd actually seen the cat. And I was like, oh. And then I was like asking her, I'm like, because I only saw its front and I saw he had a little white bits around
Mm-hmm.
his mouth, but not his nose. And I asked her, does he have any other white parts? And she's like, oh, on the tip of his feet. So I used that. Oh, and a little bit on his chest. So I made one for her as well. And it's funny because when I gifted them, they have clear buttholes. Like the buttholes are pink. The rest of the cat is not pink. They're cat colored. And when I gifted them to both times, I think everyone was like, "Oh, they're so cute." And in the back of my head, I'm like, "They're not cute. They're funny." And like I had to look at them and be like, "No, those are buttholes. They are buttholes." And then they were like, "Oh, okay." I was wondering. And I did clearly give them to the correct cousin because the other cousin, when he saw them, was like, he was like, "Why would you do that?" I was like, because it's funny. Anyway, so
I find them very funny.
and my sister-in-law has requested some as well, and I've got
Does
extra
she
yarn, so
have?
I can
Oh,
always
they
mix
have the
them up.
family cat, but she doesn't have a cat at her place.
The family cat, she doesn't have a cat at home, no. But I could make one that looks a little bit like the family cat because he's got a bit of white on his nose, mouth, and then I can probably use like the black and the brown.
They're just too cute.
He's a very big cat. I mean, yeah, they are.
They're funny and cute.
Anyway, and then yes, they're funny and cute. And I got like the buttons on for the eyes and little whiskers. I didn't do it like a nose. And then the other FO I have, which I just have a picture of the recipient wearing it, and you might recognize the recipient because she was, well, her name's Haley because it's in the magazine. She was one of my issue 4 models.
Okay.
Well, the main issue 4 model because the other one was obviously Sam, my husband. But Haley was the other model, and I had asked her a while back, like, if there's anything you want me to crochet you, like, I'll crochet you something because I kind of like she would talking about some crochet things that she saw that was cute, and I had a feeling she would want something a bit more like granny square, like more like that 70s vibe crochet. And that's the sort of thing that I maybe wouldn't make for myself, but I wouldn't mind like making. So I knew if I want to make something like that, Haley would probably want it. And well, I think I explained this before, but yeah, so she found the Damson Matter scarf, and it's literally just big granny squares. So I finished that, and she loves it.
Oh, good.
And yeah, those are my FOs.
I have 2 FOs that are also, I can only show pictures, so it's the Anthology Hat. So here's one it's just one color, and then which is a green, and then another one which is blue. So that's it. So I just make them zigzags.
Those were whips last time.
Those I think. Oh, oops, sorry. Only one of them were whips. So for the audio listeners, I'm swiping pictures on my iPad, and I swiped a picture of Emily and Nelson instead of the hat. Anyway, so yeah, so I put pom poms on them and the little
Tags.
pleather tags on them, and I think the recipients like them. And my big FO is my Suburban Wrap.
Oh, nice.
So it's been sitting on the side chair like since I made it and blocked it. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm definitely more of a process knitter than a product knitter. I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I lost it. I don't even know what I did to it. And until yesterday, I'm like, wait, where is it? Where is it? And it was still on the chair.
Yeah. It just makes me think of like, raspberry ripple, like ice cream or something with the raspberry color. And
well, it would be white.
Is there blue on it as well?
Is there what?
Or is it just the pink and is it just the pink and white and gray?
Well,
or is there
no,
blue on one end?
it's not gray. It's blue. It's a light blue.
Oh, blue.
It does look kind of like
okay.
it's gray in the screen, but see, look, I can wrap it around and wear it on my shoulders, and it keeps my back and my shoulders warm. My arms too.
And who was that by?
It's by Joji Locatelli. So it's Suburban Wrap, and then all the yarns are Urban Girl yarns. Urban Girl, yeah, from Virginia. I got all the yarns from Virginia. I didn't get them at the same time, but she's a local Virginia dyer, and the store I went to had a lot of her yarns. So I would just like, oh, I like this one. I like this one. So yep.
Nice.
That
very nice.
So that's a good start. Oh, actually, I finished that last year, so I have no FOs. Actual 2023 FOs yet.
Yeah, well, my two were 2022 ones as well because they were Christmas presents.
Because I was about to say that's a good start to the year, but not really because they were last year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Well, we have a thank you / mommypedia
or mailbag
that we can talk about. Mailbag, yeah. We got contacted on a website, which is KCACYpodcast.wordpress.com, from Kim. And she said, "Hey ladies, I adore your podcast and look forward to it with every release.
Thanks.
I am an experienced knitter but never learned crochet and want to diversify. What patterns or books do you recommend for learning? Specifically, I am aiming to make the Battenberg blanket on Ravelry. Thanks for your help, Kim." And I recognize the Battenberg blanket, I assume, is the one that was designed by Sandra, who is Cherry Heart. She does a podcast as well. And that's sort of you were saying, because you looked at it more recently, a modified granny. I think it's just got like the holes in the corners instead of like the granny stitch clusters. So I guess the question is slightly more for me because it's about crochet. And yeah, I mean, I think with probably both knitting and crochet, I probably don't have recommendations in terms of like learning how to, because I think it depends on what kind of learner you are, whether you need somebody there beside you like showing you stitches, but definitely like, you know, YouTube, lots of YouTube tutorials for specific stitches, and you just find the sort of people who resonate with you and explain things well. But I would say for patterns and books, if you're looking, you know, to keep crocheting after you've done maybe the granny squares for the Battenberg blanket, the Crochet Project, they have really nice, same with Murit, obviously, books of like garments and things. But one of the shawls that I made, I think it was the first shawl I ever made, was the Hotel of Bees shawl. And I would recommend that shawl because she's the kind of designer who is really thorough with her patterns. So there were like lots of pictures, like step by step, like everything. And it's more of a complicated shawl in terms of like, you know, there's like lots of different parts to it, and like it has a lot of visual interest. And I think in a way, even if you're a beginner, and if you're an experienced knitter, I mean, I think that's still, you know, you have a little bit of a leg up compared to somebody who's neither knit or crocheted before. But it will keep you interested a bit more because there's lots of different things. And even though they may not be completely beginner stitches and stuff, she explains things super, super well. So I would recommend the Hotel of Bees shawl. And
that's one of my favorites.
I would make that shawl again, actually.
Of the shawls that you made, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think I would, if I made it again, I would make it in a different yarn, a drapier yarn.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it Ching fiber that you used? I thought it wasn't Ching fiber, or was that one of them?
No, I didn't. It was Ching fiber was. No, I didn't use for that one. No. So yeah, but thanks for writing in. And hopefully our advice doesn't lead you to astray. We're not normally advice givers. We're normally just blabbers, babblers.
Yeah, we talk about our mistakes a lot.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's everything from me. Did you have anything else to chat about?
No. I don't have a shop talk because holidays, and we're getting ready for a trip, and you're going to be participating in. So, my head is already, thinking about travel and stuff. So I haven't, and plus I still have family here, so I'm not doing anything. But there are still things in the shop if you want, and the shop is pearlandplum at etsy.com. And there are project bags there for everybody, not just knitters and crocheters. Cool. That's it.
Tote bags, like good, like big bags for like just like shoppers and yeah. I would definitely say your Jillian bags would be nice for like anybody.
The Lillian bags.
Yeah. Sorry, the Lillian bags. Even though they've got like the big inside pockets for putting lots of different yarns in, like you could.
Who doesn't love pockets? Or anything. Everybody likes pockets.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Well, I will do the spiel.
Okay, spiel away.
You can find the show notes for this episode and every episode on our website, which is kcacuypodcast.wordpress.com. Our Instagram is also kcacuypodcast. My personal Instagram is Alyson here, and my mom's is upstate_Viv. You can subscribe and rate and comment and review and like and favorite and all the things on iTunes or wherever else you listen to podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And you can also join the Ravelry group, which is Keep Calm and Carry On Podcast. Just search that on the groups tab. So thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry on. Bye.